Hey everyone, how are you doing? Are you enjoying fall weather? Hopefully you are. I wish I could say I'm enjoying it. Well, I am enjoying it, but not enjoying it, if that makes any sense. But I wanted to start off with a joke. I like jokes, so I'm going to try to remember some jokes, if not look some up. So, first joke I'm going to start off with, let me think a minute, because you know how blondes kind of screw things up. Let me get it right so I don't mess it up. I used to always remember jokes and then forget the punchline. But this isn't that kind of joke. So let me think a second here, okay? So I was telling Polly the joke. He didn't understand it. I think because he's young, this is a joke that you'd have to be older. It's not a bad joke, not dirty or anything, but it's, let me see. I'm going to think for a second. By the way, you probably hear that little portable air conditioner. I am so hot. I was just telling Polly today, I said, you know, with having all these chills, maybe I'm not feeling that hot. As soon as words came out of my mouth, bam, I felt really hot again. It's always hot, but I felt really hot. So, shouldn't have said it. But anyhow, back to the joke. I'm just buying time so I don't screw up the joke. Okay. The joke is, okay, let's not screw it up. The joke is, you know it's really cold outside when a lawyer has his hands in his own pocket. Ha 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 ha! Did you get it? Now, no insult to anyone who's a lawyer or who likes lawyers. Did you get the joke? Let me know below if you understood the joke. Surprisingly, I did. Sometimes I don't get jokes either, but I got that right away. So let me know, write yes or no if you understood the joke. I will explain the joke if you didn't. So let me know. So I was talking to Polly earlier tonight. I'm talking about a lot of things. Because what else you gotta do when you're stuck in the house, right? Talk, play board games. Yeah, that's about it. But anyhow, because it's coming close up to my mom's birthday's coming up in October, and then the anniversary of her death 11 years ago in November. I don't like this time of year because, I mean, even though it's fall, ironically, my favorite season are horrible things happen, but it makes me think more of her, and, you know, like I said, he and I are the only ones that keep her memory alive. So we were talking something about her, and then I said, because he was really young, so 11 years ago, he was only 6, so I asked him, like, what do you remember? He remembers quite a lot. Like, when we went to visit her, let's see how many times will I say like. When we went to visit her, he would always run up to her and give her a hug right away. My other two, no. It's in their father's genes. They're cold people. But Polly is not. He got my genes. Well, I was trying to fix my professional background. Not. Should leave things alone. But anyhow, I'll veer off, as I always do. When I say leave things alone, one of my friend's moms used to always say, like, when we would go out, and she had really curly hair, and I have straight hair, so I would curl my hair, and then by the time I curled one side, got to the other side, the first side fell, I'd go back and forth, and her mother always said, you should leave things alone, which she was right. If I would have left things the way, you know, I started, like, I did, like, maybe 5 curls on each side, but then I thought it wasn't enough, did more. If I would have left it the first way, it would have been good. Anyhow, back to the subject at hand. So we were talking about when Grandma was in the nursing home. It was an awful, awful time for us. Well, for me especially, because she never wanted to be put in a nursing home, and there was nothing I could do. I know I talked about this before, but for any new subscribers, and I know you can hear me because I did a test run, even though you're going to hear in the background that air conditioner thing. And I promised her that she would never go in a nursing home, but when you don't have money, you don't have power. And I didn't have the kind of money that would give me the power to get her out. So she had fallen, broke her hip, so then she had to do rehab. And because her husband, my uncle, was literally a burden, but he was just a problem. She took care of him. So since she was his caretaker, they couldn't have her go home because she would just, the heck with her life. Well, I guess I'm kind of like her because I always put myself last, but the heck with her, and, you know, that wouldn't be good. She had to do her physical therapy, so they had her do it inpatient, and where do they do it? In a nursing home. Actually, I think when you're not even old, they do it. I remember when my friends told me she had knee surgery, and of course she went as outpatient. You know, it went every day, and it was in a nursing home, too. I guess whatever's open. This was pre the world turning sideways. But anyhow, so once she was there, and she had Parkinson's, so they got to see her more, and then, you know, they see a person, they see money, and then they finagle a way to not let her out. Like I say, if you have money, you can get a good lawyer, and you can get her out, and I couldn't, and I told the story before about how all that had happened was my older kids, I don't know if they were like teenagers at the time, whatever, they were of an age older than my little kids. And they all had to show up at the meeting and say they would help me, which they wouldn't. But we were going to have them, they were going to lie, just so I could get her out of the nursing home and get her to stay at my house. But my oldest son, who my mom did everything for, refinanced her house, I don't know how many times for him, he didn't show up. So that was it. She was stuck there. And it broke my heart, and I hope she understood that, you know, I tried my hardest, but I also had told her to stop waiting on her husband, because I said, you're going to fall and break your hip. But no, she didn't listen. She was just stubborn in that way. But I can see in a way that, you know, because he was, I don't know how to explain it really, but like she could do it quicker than him. You know, like there's these lazy men and men that are just, I don't know. A lot of you have good men. I'm not lucky. I guess I got that from my mom too. She didn't have a good husband, and I didn't have good husbands. Well, the first one was good. The second one, no. But it was easier for her to go and get something than for him to make a whole ritual to do, knock something over, whatever. So that's why she did. But still, no matter what, whatever the ritual, he should have been waiting on her was the bottom line. But no, she just, you know, she came from the old school. So anyhow, so what I said happened. It happened, that's where she ended up. I mean, I didn't rub her face in it. It's just, I'm saying to you guys that, you know, I had mentioned to her once that you're going to fall and break your hip, and you're going to end up in the hospital and have to have surgery and on and on. So it happened, but anyhow, so we visit her all the time, almost every day. I think Polly and I did go every day when the kids were in school. We went a lot. I went a lot. Like, when his father was here, I would go visit her. A few times I got to go out dancing, I would go before, and I made friends with the nurses. I would go after, when I got out. I just, I went all the time. So, I had mentioned before how, I don't know, I feel like the candle's not right. I don't know, maybe it's my eyes. I had mentioned before how prior to the world, you know, going sideways, when I would be in a store, people would just come up and talk to me. Random people, even people would say like, oh, do you happen to know where such and such is? I almost once said, do I look like I work here? I mean, not in a when you say it, it sounds like it's a mean way, and that's probably why I didn't say it. But it's like, did I look like I work there? But, you know, people just, you know, people ask sometimes in the store. I remember years ago in my first marriage, people were more friendly, you know, more about others, not themselves. And, you know, I even would ask someone, oh, excuse me, do you happen, usually when I saw someone in their cart, I would say, oh, do you remember, or do you know where that was, or do you know, something like that. You don't see that anymore. But people would do that all the time. And I remember my daughter mostly, my younger daughter, would always say, why do people always come up and talk to you? Just like that, with that tone and attitude. And I said, because I smile at people. She is very introverted, doesn't smile. In fact, some of her, I wouldn't call them friends, people that knew her from school, one girl in particular said, not to be mean, but is your daughter stuck up? Because that's what she exuded. Exhumed? That's what she put out there into the universe. Like, she was snotty. That's just the way people perceived her. And people perceive me as open, someone you could come up to. So, the same thing held true for the nursing home. And we were talking about that tonight, Polly and I. I said, do you remember when we would go see Grandma? And it was a long walk from the beginning, and then you go through there's a, the front area where you check in, then there's a dining area, there's a craft area, then there's another area, then there's 2, maybe 3 long halls. So along the way, people would say hi to me, and I'd say hi. And I had also mentioned that how much I cannot stand nursing homes. They're so sad. Years before, when I was in college, my friend and her friend used to volunteer in a nursing home, and they asked me on Christmas if I would come in. They had Christmas carols and needed people to help and dance with the residents and all. And oh gosh, I didn't want to do it. I cannot stand it. It's so depressing in a nursing home, but I did it. So anyhow, when I was there, if someone said hi and started to talk to me, I would talk to them because I would feel bad not knowing if people come visit them. And so there were certain people that, were my regulars, so to say, that they always seemed to catch me. I guess what else do they have to do there? Look at their clocks, right? Oh, we know she's coming through at this time. And so I remember there was this one man who was in one of those big wheelchairs where it holds your head up. He was paralyzed. And I cannot remember his story for the life of me. He told me it many times over, but I don't know. I probably want to erase those memories. But I always would talk to him. And he did tell me he had brain damage because he did repeat. He says, I may repeat the same thing. So I always, he was there. So I had to pass him. And he always saw me no matter which way. And again, not to sound mean, but I wanted to spend time with my mom. And, they close at a certain time. And, having a lot of kids, I have to take them all around and do all their stuff. And then, to see my mom. So, I talked to him, and he talked slower and longer. And, so this was taking time out from my mom. And then a little further down the hall was another woman in just a regular wheelchair. Did I say wheelchair? He sat in a nursing home. I think I said wheelchair. So she said, oh, hi, honey. How are you doing? And she had this orange color hair. You could tell it wasn't real. Oh, how are you doing? And she always touched the top of my hand. And, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so young. Enjoy your youth. And I don't know. At a certain age, I didn't think I was young. But in hindsight, when you look back, boy, I was young. I guess when people are older, you can look back and think, wow, I was young then. When you think you're old. I guess from 30 on, I thought I was old. And I said, why do you say I'm so young and I look so young? And then she said to me, I don't think I told you this story, but for the people that have been here for a long time, you probably know. So anyhow, she said, you can always tell a woman's age by her neck. And then she explained why. And ever since that day, I would always cover my neck, I'm thinking, because in my head, I had a mindset that I was old, but I wasn't. And I'm not really old now. But I definitely wasn't old 11 years ago. Well, more than that, because she was in nursing home years, so 15, 16, 17 years, I was not old. But I was so self-conscious about my neck, because she talked about the neck, which my neck did not look that way. It's sort of like a turkey neck. Is it a turkey? A rooster? A turkey. But it's funny. But she used to be a stripper, and she told me all about the story. So there was her. There were just a few people that really stuck out. And then there was this older gentleman, and he was pretty close to my mom's room. I almost think at one point, because they moved her sometimes to different areas, he sang so beautiful, and he would sing the song, again, I forgot it, probably blocked it out, but a beautiful love song. And one day, he was coming out of his room, and I said, I must tell you, you have the most beautiful voice. I said, every time I come see my mom, I hope you're singing. And it brought tears to my eyes. And he said he used to always sing that song to his wife. Oh, I wish I could remember. It was such a beautiful song. So those were 3 people I always made time for. Not that the other people weren't as important, but, you know, my mom was number one. But I always wonder what happened to them. After she had passed away, I thought, gee, I'm going to go and, you know, see if I can visit them. But then, you know, after she died, it was sad and, you know, everything. And then I never went. I don't know if they're around, and this is prior to the world, you know, going wrong. And then I never went back. And, of course, now I wouldn't go because, you know my situation. So, I just thought I'd share that story about, you know how I say at the end to be kind. Because I think if you can just do something little for someone, even though, you know, I wanted to spend as much time as I could with my mom, I thought, in fact, I think the man, the first one in the wheelchair, told me that nobody visits him. And that made me really sad, and that just it's like someone punched me in the gut. And I felt so awful. So these, I should say the two people, because the woman and him always were the ones to say hi. After later, the man, once I complimented him on his singing, he always said hi. But he just kind of moved along, you know, like, it's almost like he knew, you know, oh, she wanted to see her mom, I don't want to take her time. But I did take time to, you know, say a few words to him. Because I didn't know him, you know how I got to know the other people. You know, maybe he wanted to be alone, left alone, didn't want to talk. But I found out later that he did want to talk, and his kids didn't come around and see him. So, you know, I gave some time because I thought, my feelings are, you should give what you got to give. That's how I've always been. Like I said, in my first marriage, we had money. I mean, not a lot, but we had money that we could give. We gave anonymously. And during that time, I was in my second marriage, and money was not something I could be giving. Long story that shall never be told. But anyhow, I mean, we had money, but I can't tell you. It's too much. But anyhow, but I thought if I can give them my time of day, I hope someone would do that for my mom when I'm not there. If they did or not, I don't know. But she was really active in the nursing home. Once she got acclimated to it, she always did bingo. She won a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money in a nursing home. Quarters, she won a lot. She always would save it for my younger daughter. I don't know why. Maybe because, I mean, in the area, it was the boys, and she was the only girl. My older daughter was already, you know, moved out. She was in the service, so... In hindsight, I wish she would have given it to Polly, what I know now, because she was not worthy of that money. But, you know, that's what we knew at the time, and you make the best decision you can at the time you're in when you're making the decision. So, that's that. But anyhow, I'm wondering, do you have people you visit in a nursing home? And how do you feel about them? I mean... And do you have a feeling about nursing homes? Like I said, I dread the thought. When I was going to college for nursing, one of our first clinicals was in the nursing home. I truly feel it was to weed out people. I say people because we had some guys in our group. To weed out if you can make it. I think if you can make it through the nursing home, you can make it through anything. But that's just my feeling. I don't know if that's what it was. I should ask the question because this is a question I'll always have. But let me know your thoughts about nursing homes. Again. But yeah, so as much as it was heartbreaking to be there, I miss those times. If I could get them back to have my mom alive and here, I would do it. You know, at the time, everything is really... what's the saying? There's a saying. The person I work for used to always say it. Timing is everything? I don't know. It might have not been it, but something like that. So, you know, at the time when she was there, it was sad. But now, in hindsight that she's gone, I would do anything to do it over again. Every day to go there. Then rather she not be here. I hope that made sense. So... I made this video to hopefully brighten your day about how you can cheer people up when you feel you have nothing to give. If you reach deep inside yourself and you give that, it just made me feel good. Even though I was in a place that I felt so bad about, my mom, I felt bad for those people, but somehow it brightened my day. I hope I made any sense. I hope you liked my joke. I hope I didn't offend anyone with a lawyer joke. And again, comment below if you understood the joke about the lawyer, and what are your thoughts on nursing homes. I hope you're doing well, enjoying the fall. I think the fall is a nice time of year. It's my favorite. A lot of people I see, I think they don't like fall because they really like summer. And like here it was, I think the last day of summer was hotter than bejesus. But the next day was cold, so it like switched right away. But then I think we had a little warm in between. But I think because people who really love summer, when fall comes, it reminds them that summer is gone. I don't know. You can answer that question how you feel. What are your feelings or thoughts? And that's what I just started. Like I said, I have a lot of time to think. So I was thinking maybe that's it. And people really, the ones who say, oh, they really like summer, they don't like fall, but then you see they're into the fall things, picking apples, and you know. So I just think it's that change of season. There are people that really, really love the heat. And I am not one of them, of course. So anyhow, don't forget to be kind to people. You don't know what they're going through. I'm going to do a video one day of today. I had such a horrible day, which will be yesterday, because you'll see the video tomorrow. But it was like every single call I made, I swear everybody was in a bad mood. It was unbelievable. So hopefully I'll remember to do that video. But be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. Make sure you do something nice for yourself every day. Life is short. Time goes fast. And most importantly, stay safe. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I'm putting up videos. Hit the like button. Just hit it for the heck of it. Just hit that like button. People aren't commenting. Just do that. Just hit it. Please, just hit it. Let's see how many people can hit that like button. Let me see. Let's see how high we can get it, okay? I challenge you. Anyhow, for now, I hope you're doing well, and see you next time.